ABF, protective oversight, includes checks on resident well-being, face checks, etc. No to low behavior facilities will be every 2 hours, not hourly. LPNs will check at the top of the hour, and CNAs will check at the bottom of the hour. Any nurse who is hired must sign a waiver that states I am responsible for administering face checks and documenting these. If I falsify any report, I will be turned into the Department of Health and Senior Services and can be terminated. Have every staff member sign a policy that states that leaving the facility before relief arrives will result in disciplinary action up to termination. Includes environmental rounds, therapeutic milieu, sex offenders, behavior emergency policy. See next page. ABF, protective oversight. The LPN/RN may designate someone to Cal-L, the Director of Nursing designee, Administrator designee, and management team member on Cal-L if the LPN is involved with the code green and the resident continues to meet the criteria for utilizing approved COM-hold techniques. After every code green that required the utilization of approved COM-hold techniques, the DON designee will complete an RN investigation of the occurrences regarding the resident's behavior and the staff responses. Remember that any resident who requires approved COM-hold techniques must meet the criteria, which must be documented, and that physical or chemical interventions are never used as a punishment for discipline or staff. Convenience. Anytime approved COM-hold techniques utilized, the physician and legal guardian must be notified, and this should be a part of the individualized plan of care to treat the resident who shows imminent danger to self or others. Behavioral emergency code green reviews filled out by the responding staff will become part of the RN investigation to ensure that the behavioral crisis was handled professionally, that it could not have been avoided, and was handled by COM-certified staff using appropriate techniques, following the policies of the facility. When the resident is no longer a threat to self or others, and does not meet the criteria to utilize approved COM-hold techniques, then the LPN charge nurse will need to follow the behavior emergency policy for further direction on handling the behavioral crisis. Any resident who requires approved COM-hold techniques must have a complete skin assessment with vital signs monitored for 72 hours. The physician and legal guardian will be notified of assessment finding and other concerns regarding the resident's behavior emergency crisis. Following the behavioral emergency policy is vital, and all areas that the behavioral emergency policy addresses must be clearly understood and documented. Please note, the management team member on Cal-L, administrator designee, and DON designee must be notified as soon as possible. If a code green has been Cal-L, the LPN charge nurse will be encouraged to use BRP documentation to ensure quality of care and accurate and complete documentation of the code green or any behavioral issues.